The reaction among Republicans is confusion and shock. Among Democrats, it's a ramp up of criticism. Our next guest says he is shocked by the president's disclosures and called the abrupt firing of James Comey one of the most troubling actions that he's seen from a U.S. presidency since Watergate. Joining us now is Congressman Engel of New York. He's also ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, Mitch McConnell told Kevin Cirilli that he could do with a little less drama from the White House. Bob Corker of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee was more critical. He says the White House is in a downward spiral right now, and it's got to do something to bring itself under control and in order. Based on your conversations with members of your committee, are Republican members of the House Foreign Affairs Committee similarly concerned?
Well, I think everybody should be concerned. I mean, for me, it's just mind-boggling. It reaches a new low, and then it gets even lower after that. For President Trump to have told Putin and the Russians classified secrets is just mind-boggling. When you have Washington abuzz for the past several months about possible connections between Trump's campaign and the Russians should be the last people that an American president or that Donald Trump should tell anything to. And now apparently it jeopardizes our relationship with the Israelis, who apparently were the sources of the information. It's just one blunder after another after another. And I call it fly by the seat of your pants diplomacy, and it doesn't work.
Congressman, tell us a little bit about what specifically kind of action will you be urging the committee to take to address this latest disclosure?
Well, first of all, I think that what we need in the Congress is a special prosecutor so that we can take away the political taint of any of these investigations of Trump and his alleged ties to the Russians. And I think that has to happen. And I'm, disappointed that my Republican colleagues still haven't seen this and go along with it. But I'm hoping for the good of the Republic that Democrats and Republicans get together, much the way we have done on the Foreign Affairs Committee throughout these many years, and try to do what's best for the country, not necessarily what's best for the president or best for one party or another. And that's what we really have to do. It's just unbelievable that every time you think you've sunk to a new low, there's another low that's even below that. The president cannot do amateurish foreign policy. These are just not things that the United States can, as a major power in the world, can sustain.
Congressman, one of the points that the National Security Advisor made today was that this was a fundamental breach of security within the administration, whoever passed these details of the meeting to the press. What do you think is going on here? Do you believe someone could ultimately be trying to undermine Donald Trump and the administration?
Well, I think that's a secondary question. The main question is, what is the President of the United States doing, divulging classified information to Vladimir Putin, who's an adversary, and to Russia, who's decided that they're going to be adversaries of the United States, when our own allies don't have the information, and when one of our allies who gives us the information is then exposed and kind of let out there bare naked. I mean, it just is ridiculous. It's not something that you would think would even be good for a comic book. And yet this is dangerous stuff that's happening. So I don't think it's a matter of trying to do the president in. I think he's doing himself in. And my worry is that he's doing the country in.
So I guess we also have to make the point here that we don't know exactly what information was shared with the Russians here or what intel Donald Trump received back. You're obviously going to be speaking to the National Security Advisory as well later on this week. What questions are you going to be asking?
Well, the same basic questions that I've mentioned today. Why are we talking to the Russians about classified information? Why is the President of the United States not feel that he needs to keep his mouth quiet when he's talking to our adversaries? I mean, these are secrets, important things that could jeopardize things that we're doing in the fight against ISIS. And the President of the United States, apparently, because he wants to establish some kind of rapport with Putin, thinks it's okay to declassify it. I will be asking what really happened and want to make sure that there will be steps taken so that it will never happen again. This is a very dangerous thing. And I would be saying this about any president who did it. It's not a political thing with me. I just think that anybody who looks at the situation knows that what happened is a dangerous thing. Now, the president is leaving and he's going to different countries. I hope we don't have more damage that we have to clean up after that trip.
Very quickly, Congressman, what should the president aim to achieve when he visits Saudi Arabia, Israel, Italy, and Belgium?
Well, obviously, a lot of these countries are our allies. Certainly Saudi Arabia is, certainly Israel is, certainly Belgium is. I mean, all the countries he's going to. We want to have good relations with them, and we want them to be part of the global struggle against terrorism. We want them to be part of things that we're doing. And so the president's trip in itself is a good idea because we want the president to meet world leaders. But given the propensity he has to put his foot in his mouth, it makes me very, very, very nervous. But I think him going is a good idea because I think that we are the leaders of the free world and we have to act like them. But we have to also know who our friends are and who our enemies are. And believe me, Russia and Mr. Putin is not our friend.
Congressman Elliot Engel of New York, ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Thank you so much.
I think President Donald